13 Action News. Good morning, Las Vegas.
Today marks 3 years since the 1 October shooting. This morning, we remember the victims as we work to heal from the darkest day in our city's history.
People have lost their home, their cars, relationships, suicide.
Helping the families heal. The payout now on the way to support the families of victims and survivors. And the local remembrance events happening around the valley to remind us all we are Vegas strong. Thank you so much for joining us live on TV, Fire TV, or wherever you're streaming us. I'm Kalina Estrinos. It's a solemn day here in Las Vegas. Today marks 3 years since the 1 October shooting. 60 people died as a result of that night. But the city is changing the way we look at today in memory of the victims and in honor of the survivors. October 1st will now be known as Vegas Strong Day. Governor Sisolak made that announcement yesterday. Vegas Strong Day is also meant to recognize all the amazing first responders, organizations, counselors, and volunteers who jumped into action when the city needed them the most. Today, Mayor Goodman will be at the Healing Garden for a ceremony to honor all of the lives lost 3 years ago. And that includes the 2 women who were hurt the night of the shooting and recently passed away from their injuries. The ceremony at the Healing Garden starts at 10:05 tonight. A multi-million-dollar payout is coming for relatives and victims of 1 October. 13 Action News reporter Austin Carter spoke with a survivor who says the money couldn't have come at a better time.
Over the past 2 years, I've interviewed Lachey Johnson about her journey to recovery. She was hurt both physically and mentally after being trampled in the crowd during the 2017 Route 91 Harvest Festival.
Physical therapy every day, Monday through Friday.
And on the eve of the 3-year anniversary of the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, a settlement has been reached for the families of the victims and those who survived that night.
The timing is impeccable. It's one thing to say we have reached a settlement. It is another to pass out the settlement.
Lachey says that payout from MGM Resorts International to the tune of $800 million is desperately needed.
People have lost their homes, their cars, relationships, suicide. There is nothing set aside for survivors. If you can't pay your rent.
So when will those impacted receive those funds? I spoke with the lead counsel in the case, attorney Robert Eaglet. He tells me that the courts are about 75% done figuring out how to allocate the money. The hope is that this will happen before the end of the year.
It's been 3 years. How do one make it?
And that was Austin Carter reporting there. And today we'll get an update on the Nevada Joint Training Center. It'll give Metro officers the most realistic training possible for all types of situations. Planning for the project was underway before 1 October. Now, once completed, it'll be the most comprehensive training facility in the country. It'll host 60 first responder agencies and private security companies. They'll have access to tactical village designed to mimic real-life scenarios officers find themselves in. Now, coming up at 5 a.m., Kelsey McFarland will have more on the center's new update. One group is helping survivors cope in a unique way.
We tattoo on top of the scars or near the scars physically, and then also doing memorial tattoos to remind them of what they've persevered through.
Healing Inc. is a collection of artists who travel the world providing tattoos for victims of violence, war, and terrorism. Riley Goldgart was left with a permanent injury after she was shot in the back during 1 October. She decided to get a phoenix tattooed on her arm to show how far she's come. Healing Inc. hopes their work can help survivors of 1 October express what words cannot, and the tattoos can be a permanent reminder of their journey beyond that day. Today, Assemblyman Steve Yeager is running 58 kilometers to raise money and honor the 58 people who died the night of the shooting. He'll carry a baton with all 58 names. The money raised will go to the Resiliency Center Emergency Fund for Survivors. He plans on running by the metro and fire stations along the Strip, the Heartfulness sculpture outside Fashion Show Mall, and also the Healing Garden. He said he wants to honor not only the victims, but also the first responders.
It's been challenging, but it's also been very rewarding to be able to plan this and to think about the message that I want to send out during the run, which, is just to honor those that we lost, to thank those who responded so bravely, and then also to raise funds for the Resiliency Center.
And if you want to donate, there's more information on ktnv.com/links. Today, the Country Strong Foundation is having a Route 91 memorial ride. The foundation was set up by survivors of the shooting. All the money goes to equestrian and trauma therapy for those with PTSD. Tickets are $58, and the ride starts at 7 a.m. outside the Harley-Davidson store near Las Vegas Boulevard and Russell Road. And we'll continue our coverage of all of the events planned in honor of the lives lost on 1 October all day right here on Good Morning Las Vegas. And for a full list of everything happening in the Valley today, just visit our website, ktnv.com.
Well, weather forecast calls for temperatures in the low 70s outside early this morning, so the cool, comfortable starts to the days should continue. Might even drop to the upper 60s around 7 a.m. Heating up to 91 at noon, and we're looking at 98 by 4 p.m. High temperatures in the upper 90s. It's more reminiscent of late August than early October. Could get as hot as 99 on the east side and up toward North Las Vegas. We will check ahead to the weekend forecast in just a second. Let's talk to Marissa, though, about the roads.
All right, Justin, thank you so much. No major crashes to start out that morning commute. So let's take a look at our traffic cameras right now. I want to show you Tropicana and Eastern. Of course, East Tropicana, lots of lane shifts and lane restrictions going on right now because of the improvements being made. So just expect some delays if that is on your commute. Again, other than that, not seeing any major crashes. Taking a look at your drive times through the resort corridor, it looks like top speeds in both directions.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much. Starting today, more people are allowed to gather in groups. The capacity for public and private gatherings is now 250 people, or 50% of room capacity, whichever is less. Conventions, religious gatherings, and live events are also now allowed as long as everyone can stay 6 feet apart. The governor says he expects to make an announcement regarding the restart of youth sports in about a week. The Springs Preserve reopens today. The new guidelines in place to keep everyone safe. Plus, CCSD under fire for allegedly not helping a student who was being bullied. The lawsuit now calling out the district.